Welcome to it. This is the Upside. Shayla Ndikumana, Luyanda Maome, and it is time for our Spotlight Monday feature.
Yes, let's do it. Now, according to the World Economic Forum, women account for only 22% of AI experts worldwide. Now, in science, technology, engineering, and other fields, it is critical to actually address the gender diversity issue. And the only way we can close the gender gap in AI and eliminate bias is to encourage more women to actually pursue the technical fields. Now, FICO is a predictive analytics company that is specializing in artificial intelligence. These are the people we are actually spotlighting today, and of course is headed up by a female principal consultant, that is Shivani Landie, who's joining us on the line. Shivani, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Upside.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Shivani, thank you again for coming through. Now, talk to us what actually spurred you to actually go into the AI space, because like we said, only 22% of women are actually participating in the space. What actually made you say, you know what, I want to get in there? Talk to us about it.
Right. So, one of the reasons I'd gone into the space was when I started studying, IT was the new course that people were talking about. And it was something that was going to blow up the world. And that intrigued me so much. So I had to get involved in that. And through my career, I worked for one of the big banks. And I progressed through the credit space, in the credit system space, etc., and got into the technology and realized how powerful technology is helping us in our everyday lives. From banking to running your household to managing finances to how the world operates, airlines, hospitals, everybody. And I just thought this is the area that I want to be in and I want to make an impact on.
Yeah. Now, Shivani, I want us to get into when you were pursuing your space in the AI. How many women did you see around you? I know that's a practical question to an extent, but when you were looking left and right, how often did you encounter or come across a woman?
Up until today, I am often the only woman sitting around a table or on a Zoom call. So very far and few between.
Yeah.
I must say, though, over the past 10 years, it has improved quite a lot. But, so if you think about it, and I read an article the other day, actually, in from the World Bank, and what they said was that less than 40% of the global workforce across the world are women. That alone will tell you how much of opportunity there is out there for us to get into the space.
Now, what can this be attributed to? In terms of the numbers in the AI space, is it a matter of interest? Is it a matter of women not actually being encouraged to go into the space? What can we put this down to?
I think it's a stigma that men are typically better at maths and science, and fewer girls are exposed to these subjects, actually. What I love now about schooling systems is that a lot of schools are introducing STEM, which is, around the systems technology, etc., and mathematics, maths and science, etc. And more girls are starting to choose the subjects because they're aware of it. And we have to start by making STEM education accessible to more people. Early exposure is absolutely critical if we want more girls to be interested in the tech. Hands-on STEM training and exposure to so many different technical fields will help the students understand, the global impact of technology, like I did.
Yeah.
It will help them to get excited about, being innovative and creative. And as soon as they show that interest, they'll definitely start following that path and looking at getting into these types of fields.
Shivani, I want to get into something that you made very, very clear to me as you spoke, is that the culture and the enculturing around women and engineering or the STEM industry at large, isn't that strong? We don't have a strong culture that speaks to women being able to participate. It's almost as though there's an elitist sort of thinking where it's only top tier smart women that can participate, when truly speaking, everybody can take their shot. How do we then continue to grow and develop our society so as to allow and afford women the opportunity to try? Perhaps, to each their own in terms of entry point, but at least the opportunity to want to try because you have access.
there are so many good programs that, so for example, Women in Technology from a South African and Africa perspective, they run these wonderful programs that expose young women to mentors that are in the industry and up-and-coming young companies and CEOs and CFOs of API, companies that have developed APIs, etc. And I think that type of exposure and literature, and just showing people what you can achieve by going into this field. I mean, predominantly women are supposed to be teachers and accountants, etc. But if you think about the woman's mind, they have such a creative mind, and they are so innovative. They can solve any problem. That is what AI and technology is about. It's about solving the problem. I mean, when I got into the debt collection technology space, one of the things that I thought about was, how do we get these people out of here? What do we need to do to solve their problems? And for me, the woman has that creative, logical mind to do that. We also have that empathy, and we understand the situation that your clients are in. Make sure that you understand the problem. It's that motherly instinct that comes out as well. And you filter that to your technology and your AI.
Now, Shivani, one of the things that, in fact, what you do is that you are a principal consultant at predictive analytics company FICO here in South Africa. Let's just talk to us about the work that you do and how it is that then, your story can be used to kind of, to show young girls that actually there is a future for women in this space.
Absolutely. So FICO is an American company. We're globally based. And what we use is the power of analytics to drive decision-making within your organization. So we will use big data to help you make credit and fraud risk decisions that would maximize your profits or help you solve a problem, optimize your operations and your strategies. And we use all our data and your client's data, any big data that we get our hands on. And our software, our platform, takes that data and transforms them into insights, which you can then use to make informed decisions.
Wow. Sounds really interesting, actually. It's got my brain thinking. In terms of your own environment and space, Shivani, I mean, the spotlight is truly for you this Monday. We want to shine a spotlight on you to say that, listen, you are doing a brilliant job, not only by being a participant at FICO, that is an American company based globally, you said, but also just being presently active in the world of AI. What are some of these programs? You said that there are programs that speak to a space where women can participate. Give us some of those programs so as to be able to further give information to people who are interested in AI.
Mm-hmm. So we've got, and I'm sure lots of companies have got that, but we've got a specific leadership program that focuses on women only. It's a bunch of women that come together to support each other, help us. We talk about what problems that we are facing within our very male-dominated society, and we solve them together. A lot of the ladies have been in the group for many years and have experienced some of the new challenges, etc., and that's how we resolve for each other. That support function, being a woman in technology, is extremely important. I mean, that was one of the things that, for me, helped me overcome some of the challenges that I experienced being in a very male-dominated society. It's around having that support structure. The ladies will guide you in terms of believing in yourself and trusting in yourself and, focusing on the positive. A lot of the time, what I've found is that when you're sitting in some of these meetings, you feel a bit overwhelmed, especially being the only female. And you have the softer voice, you have the bigger males surrounding you, etc. And you feel a little bit small, so you tend not to be confident in those sessions. And some of the things that we speak about and that we teach each other is, you know yourself, you know what you're capable of doing. So go out there and do it. Ask that question or make that comment. I mean, I used to find myself a lot of the time thinking something and not saying it, and then a male comes back and say it. And then you'll think, oh, gosh, I should have actually said that already. And that kind of builds you up as well. The more you're out there, the more you put yourself out there, the more confidence you gain, and the more credibility you'll also gain in this environment.
Listen, Shivani, essentially what you're saying is that there's more than enough space inside this tent, and you are encouraging each and every young woman who's listening to this conversation to say, listen, do your best, come in. You might have a little bit of, confidence issues, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. Am I capturing you correctly?
Absolutely. And, you made a comment earlier to say that women make up 22% of the tech industry workforce. That alone will tell you how much of opportunity there is. And we need to close that gap. There's a huge gap in terms of the number of women versus men in the tech space. And alongside that, there's been so much of research done around having a diverse workplace. And why is that? McKinsey recently said they've shown that companies with a diverse workforce earn more revenue than those without. So why not do it? And it's not only about the need to hire diverse tech talent, but also to create and promote and celebrate diverse voices by creating this supportive environment which allows everybody to thrive. And for me, that's that's the crux of it. It's really what it goes down to.
Shivani, for us, like Shayla said to you earlier on, it is basically to shine a spotlight on you to say, listen, we see you, we acknowledge you, and hopefully these few words that we've been able to share with you will actually encourage you, and not only you and others as well, to actually come into the space of artificial intelligence, to actually close that 22% gap, to make sure that there are actually more women in this space operating. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us and being our spotlight for this Monday. Thank you so much for actually joining us on the Upside.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. That is the principal consultant at predictive analytics company FICO here in South Africa. Of course, it's a multinational company, as she said. That is Shivani Landie joining us here on the Upside to just talk about her story and how she actually sees this industry evolving over time and actually accepting more and more people. 22%. We've got more space. Don't see that as actually a restriction or a prohibition. See it as an opportunity for you to actually go in there and make sure that number grows.
I'll say this. There's something sort of I don't want to say unsettling about that percentage, right? So my brain is doing mathematics here. As you say, 22%. My brain is like, okay, then there's 78%.
Yep.
More room for occupation, which is not necessarily true, right? So when we are looking at this 22%, it's not to say that there's 78% left room in terms of avenue for women to be able to step into the world of artificial intelligence, but rather it's to say that there's a minority function and we'd like to increase the percentage.
Absolutely.
And so when you are moving towards the AI industry, I think one thing I'm trying to allude to is don't walk in feeling like it owes you. Walk in ready to learn.
You still have to put in the work.
I've seen this happen too many times.
You still have to put in the work, of course.
Yeah.
And also, we don't necessarily need to lower the barriers of entry.
Yeah.
You still need to be able to do the work and prove yourself in terms of meritocracy.
Yeah.
But there's an opportunity there. And in an ideal world, we should be talking about a 50-50 split. And of course, 51%, 49%, more females. Listen,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Play. The fact that we've got 78, that means there's a chance to be 78 women and 22 men. For me, it's not a problem. It's not a problem at all.
I just feel like that's there's this thing that I've seen that sort of manifests, but we're going to talk about it right after the business news update. It's over to you, Ayanda.